is this cool edge design featuring double crochets and single crochets, and it adds a little bit of depth to the work. On this video, I'll teach you how to do the Pintuck Edge. I'll be using a 4mm hook and some acrylic yarn size 4 in 2 different colors. Okay, so for this design, you can start with a foundation chain. That's any number of chains plus 1 for your base chain. So in my case, I have 13 chains. I'm going to begin with row 1. For row 1, you're going to skip the first chain and into the next do a single crochet. And that's what you want to do into each chain of the foundation chain. Just do 1 single crochet all the way down, and I'll see you when you're done. Okay, this here is the end of row 1. For row 2, we're going to start with a chain 3, which counts as a double crochet, and flip your work. You're going to skip the first chain, the first stitch. So you're skipping the first stitch. Into the next, you're going to do a double crochet into the front loop only. So you know how you have the top of the stitch that looks like V's facing this way? If you see the stitch from above, it looks like V's. The loop closest to you is the front loop. So I'll show you. Let me just grab all my stuff here. So we're skipping the first one, right? Normally you go under both loops like this. But in this case, you're going to go through the front loop only, which is this one here. That's where we're going to be working the double crochets. So yarn over, skip the first, into the front loop of the second, do a double crochet. And that's what you're going to do all the way down. Yarn over, front loop only of the next stitch, double crochet. Yarn over, front loop only of the next stitch, double crochet. Continue doing this to the end and I'll see you when you're done. Okay, this here is the end of row 2. For row 3, we're going to incorporate our second color. So I'm going to just pull up my loop there and remove my hook. I'm just going to bring my new color by creating a tail that I'm going to weave in later. Inserting my hook back through that loop, grabbing the tail and pulling it through. And from here, I'm just going to cut my color A, just leaving a tail so you can weave it in later. Okay, and now with our new color, we can begin row 3. For row 3, you're going to start with a chain 3, which counts as a double crochet. And now you flip your work. We're going to be skipping the first stitch. Into the next, you're going to work a double crochet into the back loop of the stitch. So yarn over, go through the back loop of the stitch. So that'll be the one furthest away from you. And complete your double crochet. Continue doing this all the way to the end. Back loop only, double crochet. Back loop only, double crochet. And I'll see you when you're done. I'm almost done here. I just want to show you that the very last one, you're going to do it to the top of the turning chain. So into the top of the turning chain, just do your double crochet. You're not really going to have a front or back loop there. It's just the top of the chain. This here is the end of row 3. We're going to move on to row 4. Chain 1 and flip your work. Now we're going to be creating single crochets by going through the top of the stitch and through the back loop of the stitch that you skipped. So first one here is going to be a little bit different. You're just going to go into the top of the stitch and do a single crochet. The next one, you're going to go through the top of the stitch like normal. And then you want to insert your hook into the back loop that's exposed of 2 rows ago. So there's a loop here. I'm actually going to use maybe my needle to show you. If you're working it like this, but if you flip your work, you'll see these loops that are exposed from 2 rows ago. So this is where we're going to be inserting our hook on this current row that we're in. So let me show you. We go through the top of the next stitch, which is the double crochet, and now through the loop that's exposed of the corresponding stitch below. So now that you have that, you're going to grab your yarn and pull it through all the way up, and from here complete a single crochet. Let's do it again. Go into the top of the stitch, through the back loop that's exposed. Grab your yarn and pull it up and complete a single crochet. And that's what we want to do all the way down. Continuing going through the top of the stitch and the single crochet, or sorry, the exposed loop from the previous row, and from there completing a single crochet all the way to the end. Then at the very end, we're just going to do a normal single crochet at the turning chain. So I'll just meet you when we're there. Okay, now I've come to the very last bit here, and I just have my turning chain. So into the top of the turning chain, just do a regular single crochet. Now this here is the end of the row. You can go ahead and cut off your yarn and thread your ends through. Okay, here we have it. This is really cool because it looks different on either side. Like the height, if you notice here, the height of the red is much taller than on this side. So yeah, it just creates this kind of 2-dimension edge, and it looks different on both sides. Hey, while you're at it, why don't you just subscribe to my channel? Just do it. Just do it.